I'm Jason Nunez, and let's queer up the USA View. Arizona Governor vetoes bill that would fund Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA with license plate fees. A bill that would have directed public funds to conservative activist groups have been vetoed by Katie Hobbs, the governor of Arizona. The Democratic governor rejected a GOP-led Senate proposal that would have donated $17 from the sale of $25 license plates honoring the late right-wing commentator Charlie Kirk to Turning Point USA, the youth conservative organization he founded. Turning Point USA has been accused of promoting anti-trans and anti-immigration rhetoric. In her March 6 veto letter, Hobbs said the legislation did not benefit residents and unnecessarily introduced, quote, politics into a function of government that should remain nonpartisan, end quote. According to the Arizona Mirror, Turning Point USA raised $84 million in 2024. Its political action committee, Turning Point Action, which backs far-right Republican candidates and registers conservative voters, raised more than $27 million that same year. Democratic lawmakers also raised concern that the well-funded organization would receive taxpayer-supported donations, while similar proposals for LGBTQ plus pride license plates have repeatedly been blocked by Republican legislators. You know, Governor Hobbs makes it very clear that she believes that government should stay out of a marketing platform, just creating these political nightmares, whether on the Republican side or the Democratic side, and in today's polarized political climate, decisions are really about where leaders draw the line between free expression and public endorsement. And Governor Hobbs makes it clear that we need to make sure that that line is not drawn in the sand, but it's a more permanent fixture of, you have the right to your free expression. It just can't be a public endorsement, especially if you hold a seat like hers as a governor and a civic leader, someone who was voted into office. It wasn't just something like you're hired for another job.
Yeah. She stood strong by her convictions, and I'm so glad Arizona is purplish, as purple as my shirt is today. So, so thank you, Governor, for standing up for us. There's been such a race. There's an effort down to in the state legislature that's going to name a section of road in Miami-Dade County for Charlie Kirk. They want to build statues to him and require campuses to put a Charlie Kirk Boulevard on every single campus around here. So I'd just like to take a moment to remember some of the things that this person, this vile, wretched person who right now I'm sure is burning in the fires of the hell that he believed in. If you're a WNBA pot-smoking black lesbian, do you get treated better than a U.S. Marine? Happening all the time. Black people go around for fun to target white people. If I'm dealing for customer service who is a moronic black woman, I wonder if she's there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? Reject feminism. Submit to your husband. The answer is yes, a baby would be delivered, talking about if his 10-year-old child were to be raped. And we need to have a Nuremberg-style trial for every gender-affirming clinic doctor. We need it immediately. This man wasn't about encouraging discussion. He was about silencing dissent. He put his view out there as the one that must be there. And what is that? It's white. It's Christian nationalist. It is very reminiscent of what we're starting to come up on the 100-year anniversary of in Germany, the Hitler's rise and the Nazi Reich. So, they can start all these little Charlie Kirk Hitler youth clubs on campuses all they want. It doesn't make him a better person. It just reminds us all what a wretched, terrible, vile human being that he was.
It's very interesting. I'm going to go back to the bill that we're trying to pass through. That $17 from the sale of a $25 license plate was going to go to this proposal. And so it makes me think that they must be so desperate for money in terms of all of this too. I think it's starting to lose its lack of luster, the whole Charlie Kirk thing. I think we should just stop talking about him. We should stop talking about his wife and everything around that subject, in terms of like giving him exposure. He was anti everything that, you would want to be positive in this world. And I agree with a lot of what has been said about, how vile he was.
Yeah, it's interesting that we're now starting to talk about Charlie Kirk Road, Charlie Kirk statues, when we have Donald Trump Boulevard. Isn't there's a Donald Trump Boulevard somewhere around?
Yeah, it's going into Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea.
That's what it was, yeah. Well, there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.